Hi, and welcome back to my channel. I wanted to talk about one of the ways that I messed up in my Notion. So my Notion journey really started with reading a book about the para method, about projects, areas, resources, and archive, and taking into consideration that idea of the second brain, the place of having all your notes in one spot. And I had heard of Notion, I was intimidated by it, but I was inspired by this framework to look into it again. And I went on to YouTube, I looked up videos about how to make these different projects and areas and resources and tasks and notes databases. And I made two really big mistakes. We're going to talk about one of them today, and that is the way that I thought about projects. Why I was getting frustrated with myself recently because my tasks kept getting pushed off to the next day and pushed off to the next day because one of the things I'm trying to do right now is build like a really robust novel writing database that somebody can use as like National Novel Writing Month starts, as I use in my own process. I'm a writer outside of this. That's one of the main things that I do with like as a career for fun, both. Um, anyway, I realized that I was having tasks that kept getting pushed back from day to day to day. And if I looked at each day, I wasn't seeing that I had worked on things because I had kept having to move them. They were in progress, but they weren't finished. And we've talked it before in my ADHD video about how it's so important for me to be able to see that I'm making progress as I'm going through everything. Like, if I don't feel like I'm making progress, I struggle to keep going. And I realized, like, I had a revelation last night. I'm like, I have to talk about this. I have been looking at projects wrong. So let's go ahead and flip over to my computer really quick and look at what I did for projects and why I think it's a problem. So I've already gone through and made the changes that were bothering me, but I wanted to show you what I did wrong and hopefully help you from keep you from making the same mistakes, especially if you have ADHD like I do. This was my project page, and I had a musical, write for Medium, like a class I'm taking, creating printables, creating Notion templates, work that's going to last me for 6+ months, write a book, write a book, write a book, write poetry. These are not projects. Like, I messed this up because I'm sitting here and look, this started from the day that I started Notion, and like, songwriting is actually going to continue for another year. This is an area, is what I learned. And so I went through and this is like a sneak at my own process. It's a lot actually messier than the Life OS template that I have. We're going to look at that too. But I wanted to first of all just show you some mistakes that I made when I got kind of obsessed with Notion. And so I had to go through, I made myself a new projects database because transformational songwriting, the class I'm taking with Brett Bowles, highly recommended if you're a songwriter, by the way. That is an area. That is something that's going to take a very long time, if ever, to be completed. I'm doing a job for him where I tag the calls in Notion. And tagging 8 calls for each month is a project. Tagging all year of calls that I'm trying to catch up on would take me months and months and months on end. And labeling that as a project was really frustrating in terms of my own brain, my process, because I wasn't feeling like I was making progress. I would never touch my projects page because everything was in projects and in progress, in progress, in progress, in progress. And looking at like Medium, it was never going to end. So right now I'm writing an article called Growing Up, Your Style. It's kind of about like how to dress now that I'm in my 30s and a parent. And I want to have this done by tomorrow. It's in progress, but this is related to Medium. It is a part of that progress. But this has several different tasks. Each of these now is related to the project. It's related to the area of writing for Medium. For this one, I'm going to go through and add tasks for each individual chapter that I have to edit, as well as going through, I'm creating a wiki for this. And here I can go ahead and relate the calls that I already have in here that are from this month. And now I have individual tasks that take me less than one day that relate to this task that takes me a while. This one, I'm going to come up with all of the tasks outside of the video because it's going to take a while. All right, let's take a look at the ADHD Life OS template. It's linked below. When you go through here, I actually, when I set this up, understood that a project is anything that takes multiple days. You can create and organize your projects in this project thing, and then tasks, again, should tie into your daily and monthly plans. It will tie into your projects. It should be something that you can complete within a couple of hours. Link each task to a project. Tasks should take less than a few hours. Anything longer than that should be a project. I figured this out to create the template. I didn't figure it out for myself, but I wanted to explain that issue. And then we'll look here. We'll see that right here, Notion template was considered a project. And then I had all the different tasks related to it. This template is on sale until the end of August for less than $5. If you wanted to get it from my Etsy store, it's going to go up in price a little bit come September. I still think it is totally worth it, totally organized in a way that works with an ADHD brain. You look at your done tasks, your to-do tasks. You can go through and delete all of these example ones when you get this for yourself. And if you wanted to add an areas thing that has to do with like individual courses that you're taking that then have projects within them, or if you have like something like I do that's ongoing, maybe maybe you upload for YouTube, or you're writing for Medium, or you are creating things on Etsy, or whatever it is that you're doing, and you wanted those things, Medium, Etsy, YouTube, to be an area of your life, you could actually go in here and you can add a database for that. You go to a full page and then you can call it that. This could be your area. I'm going to go ahead and undo that because I don't want to mess up the template as it exists. That is a choice, though, that you can make when you are working on this to really make it your own. Add that fourth thing. Go into your planner, see everything by task, and then go through and look at your plan at the end of the month. See which projects that you're working on, which things you finished. It is just one of the things that I think is super, super useful to view by project and see everything that you're completing. And hopefully you find this useful, whether you are customizing a template that I have created or you're making your own.